Mrs. Abell, thank you for participating in the EASMC endorsement process. The interview will be recorded and posted on YouTube and our EASMC website. Please speak up when answering so your answers can be heard. My name is Dwayne Hancock. I'm the EASMC Vice President.
My name is Tiffany Thompson. I'm a Building Service Manager at George Washington Carver Elementary.
Hello.
I'm Elaine Deems. I'm a special education paraeducator at Leonardtown Middle School.
I'm Mary Ann Tomasic. I'm a career advisor at Chesapeake Public Charter School, our Forest Technology Center, and I support our virtual academy.
Good afternoon, Katrina Mills, Building Service Manager at Spring Ridge Middle.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today, and I'm excited. I mean, I don't know how well I'll do here. The questionnaire was like a final exam, but
All right, Mrs. Abell.
well.
Mrs. Abell,
Yes.
for reference in this interview, the term educator refers to all employees that work for St. Mary's County
Yes.
Public Schools.
Yes.
And with that, I have your first question. If elected, what are your top 3 priorities?
For the school system or overall? I'm not an elected. I would not be an elected official in the school system. So as a county commissioner.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I come from a background of continuous improvement. So right there, I said better governing is what I'm looking to do, and bring better decision making to the commissioner's table. We need to get to the root causes of some of the problems that we have. We also need to be listening to what our residents are saying, and that, from all sectors of our economy, from all reaches of our county, from shore to shore, everything. Just, we need to be talking to people and really listening. I mean, when I say talking, I mean really asking them questions. So better governing and decision making at the commissioner's table is one, and that's my focus. And then also I want to increase the workforce and low income inventory, housing inventory that we have, and the financial accessibility for people to either to buy or rent, and ensure that we have the associated infrastructure to support that, meaning water and sewer and transportation and so on. And I also want to see more businesses that come here that are where we can increase technology, in technology type businesses or 21st century businesses, service type, small businesses is what I'm really talking about, that are non-defense industries. Because we've been saying for a very long time we need to diversify our economy, our businesses that we have here. We're too reliant on the base. And so we've been saying that for a very long time. Well, we need to do something about it and really act on that. And I'm looking forward to working with my fellow commissioners as well as the state delegation and our congressional delegation to do some of those things as well. So those are 3: better governing, more workforce and low-income level housing, and small businesses. Let's take advantage. We're so STEM heavy here with many of the types of folks that are here, the workforce. So let's take advantage of that. And then let's also train our local people, or our countyans, I should say, to work in those jobs as well.
Thank you, Ms. Abell.
Yeah.
In your view, what challenges do you see the children in our county facing as they work to be successful in our schools?
That's a loaded question. Challenges see the children they're facing. I think just the way our current world is, our current state of our union, if you will, for our children to be, I guess mired is the word. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that we can protect them from everything. They're exposed to so much. The technology has moved so fast, a lot of screens out there. But let's see, that they work to be successful in our schools. Well, I guess it really comes down to, really, are we taking care of our educators? Because as I said in my questionnaire, if we take care of our educators and all those people that do support our students and our children, then I know they put them first. They will put them first, and they do. They do that anyway, even though they know sometimes they're not getting the support from the county commissioners that they so deserve. So I'm not sure I answered that very well, because it's been I mean, I have grandchildren, so I see, some of their, their challenges. They're in elementary right now, and I'm not really sure what some of their challenges are, to be fair.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Which considerations are most important when drafting and finalizing the county budget?
Well, it's always, can we afford it, right? But that always seems to be the main measure of what it costs, what's the dollar amount. But we have to really look into the future now, as well as into the future, is what if we don't do it? What if we don't do some of the things that we want to have, or we say we need to have in the school? And if we don't provide them, what will be the long-term consequences? So I think in looking at that, that's what needs to be foremost. And where are we going with this? When we're talking about educating our children, what is really our vision for that? And to me, as a county commissioner, I'm looking at having, I see it as an investment. We're investing in the future. So, they say pay me now or pay me later. Sometimes that pay me later comes out and it's not education costs, it's somewhere else in the system, right? It's in our overall county and where our people are. So, does that mean we're going to be paying for, I don't know, things, I know you have all heard this, when we don't take care of our kids now and make sure that they can be successful for the future, are they going to find themselves on the wrong side of the law? And then are they going to end up in prison? And that's always a concern, and that's not a contributing member of society either. So we want to prevent that. So what are the things that we can do that would prevent? So most importantly, I would think about, where are we today? Where do we want to be? And how do we close that gap, or those gaps? Because it's not just one kind of gap, it's more than that when we're finalizing the budget. And I think the other consideration that is most important is I want to hear what the educators are saying, because you all are on the front lines. And I'm here to support you to make sure you can do what you need to do to educate our children.
Thank you. You took us to our next question.
Okay.
As a county commissioner, how will you include the voice of St. Mary's County Public Schools, excuse me, and public school educators in your decision-making?
Well, I think I need to talk with you and listen to you, right? Ask you some questions. That's one way. One, if you'll have me in your schools and let me walk around and talk to you and observe, right? I know there are all kinds of activities that the schools do, so being a part of that or showing up for those. I mean, a lot of this is even just showing up and being there. And I just want to emphasize too that, I'm one of 5 county commissioners. I fully expect the other county commissioners to be doing some of the same things, so that when we come together to make a decision or make decisions about the school budget and the other things that we have to make decisions about, that we're coming to the table with information, with data, whatever. It's going to be from our own perspectives, but isn't that what helps make better decisions when you have people from different walks of life, different ways of looking at things, they've got different experiences, so, and bringing those together. So including the voice of the school system and public school educators, yeah, I need to hear what you're saying. I need to know what your experiences are, because I don't live them. But I know you could help me understand what it is and what the consequences could be and are for those things, and then I need to then figure out or help with the, you know, with the other decision makers, what can we do about it, you know? So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please share an overview of your campaign, including your key endorsements, fundraising, and campaign plan, and why you believe you will be a competitive candidate.
Okay, well, I'm going to start out to say that I only just thought about running as the deadline kept approaching, because my feeling on that was I did not want to see an uncontested seat for the president of the county commissioners. And so I said, okay, I will do it. And so I stepped down as chair of the Democratic Central Committee. And that day, the filing deadline, that afternoon, I went and filed. So I'm still putting some of these things together. As far as key endorsements, that's all in the process right now. Like Sierra Club, I think that's the only one that I've gotten an endorsement from. A questionnaire from. I haven't received anything from them, just the questionnaire. And of course, y'all's questionnaire. So what I'm looking at doing, I'm looking to have some listening sessions across the county, to listen, to hear what folks are saying about the issues, the things that keep them up at night, what they're concerned about, even what do they see the future of the county, how it's going, how it's growing, how it's maybe, some of the other challenges that folks are having. We know they are, but I need to hear, I want to hear it from them as well. Some of us are going to weather some of the harder times that I think are coming, and some will weather it better than others, and that pains me. In all honesty, that pains me, because I feel now is the time we need to be figuring out how we're taking care of each other. And why do I believe I'll be a competitive candidate? I think it's because, one, I feel like I'm authentic. I could be doing a whole lot of other things, and I'm not complaining. I'm happy to do this. I'm happy to meet the moment. And if anything, I think that it's coming from the heart, it's coming from a deep place to want to continue to serve. I was a public servant, a federal public servant, and I went through a little crisis during, probably after about 15 years or so when I was working, and I actually thought about coming and teaching. I really was like, because I love it. And I did a lot of training on the base, and so I felt very comfortable doing that. And I wanted to have more of an impact. And then I realized that even on my working on the base and the job that I had, I could help people do their jobs better. I could help them, with how they do their job, right? I could help them with understanding what their customers are really asking for them for whatever product they were producing. And so knowing that I could do that, and then in fact did that, and we had results, and the customer was happy, and and the people that I was helping were happy as well. And they didn't have to work harder; they could work smarter in some things. I mean, we figured it out, but we did it together, and we had teams that worked on that. So I still come from that. That is like in my bones. It's wanting to make things better. We may be in a, I guess it depends on where you stand and what you're looking at, in an okay situation, but I feel like it's unsustainable. And I've been trying to grab at some of the data that's proved, it's one thing to have a gut feeling about things, it's another to be able to say, well, here's the data that shows, yeah, we're trending this way, or we're trending that way, or what are the indicators, what are the flashing lights that we need to be paying attention to? And I feel like sometimes the flashing lights, people aren't seeing the flashing lights, or they're feeling them, but some folks aren't seeing them. The ones that maybe need to see them aren't seeing them. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Next question. County Commissioners passed a tax increase effective for 2025 to support the blueprint. As a commissioner, will you commit to using the revenue as it was intended to support public education?
Yes.
Thank you.
What specific revenue strategies would you implement to fully fund public education?
So I thought about this, and I feel like I need more information about it. Again, this is kind of new to me, well, I say that it's new to me, but I also can do my homework and learn, and so I've been doing that. I just printed out Comptroller Lehrman's October report on housing and the economy, just to get a better understanding of the our overall state economy, which we are a part of. So revenue strategies. Well, I would commit to, or I would keep the one that we're doing right now, but need to look at what are some of the other ones. One of them that I mentioned in my, two things I mentioned in the questionnaire. One was about having a specific equation that, it seems to me that it's hard for us to rely on one component if it's just the income tax or the revenue, that was passed in 2025, that revenue stream. Are there some other revenue streams or other things that we need to look at? So what goes into the equation for funding, so that we know what, what some things are going to be constant, or what some things, some factors may be variable, and so on. So it's that equation that's really what I'm looking at. And I do agree, it needs to be something that's sustainable, because we all know we've had hits on our state funding and our federal funding as well. So we need to be prepared to look at that. So, and there may be some specific things that I don't even know about, that maybe another state or another county is doing, and so let's look at that. So, yeah.
Thank you.
So, okay.
School districts cannot be expected to solve the mental health crisis alone. How would you leverage your role as commissioner to build formal partnerships with county health departments or private providers to offer wraparound services on campus?
Well, I would be outspoken about that, how necessary it is. We're a community. We should be doing a lot of things together and working together, and I think this is one of them. And unfortunately, we're still dealing with the stigma of mental health, and when people need help, and we have to overcome that. And I'm a proponent of mental health services. I've had to use them before. So, and I think that's okay, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. So, and the idea of private providers, I don't know what all the pros and cons of that are, of private providers providing wraparound services on a campus, but it seems to me it is a solution. It is a way of doing that. But I would embrace it. I would embrace that role as, as commissioner, I would embrace the role of working on formal partnerships and working together with our county health department. I think that's the only way to really tackle the problem is to do it together. Because if we do it, if somebody just stays in their swim lane and tries to solve the problem, are they really, again, I come from look at the overview and look at things as a system. So what else needs to be considered?
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was me. We are one of the largest employers in the county, and our employees make up a large part of the community. How would you support us in your budget?
Well, I would take very seriously what the superintendent and the Board of Education brings to the county for what they need in the budget. And it's budgets, right? It's not just the operating budget, it's also the capital improvement plan budget. And is there a third budget? Or is there a third consideration? Not sure. It's just those two. So, well, I guess I would support it. I would ask questions, of course, because I would ask questions like, if we do this, what's the desired outcome of that? If we don't do something, what's the effect? Is it worth the cost? And it's not just the cost of, as measured in dollars, it's going to be other things that are intangible, people's well-being, even morale, can measure morale. I gotta say, last year at the budget forum, when Mrs. Penrod said, every year we come here begging, and I just thought, she's so right. And it made me ill to hear that, because that is no way to treat people who are educating our children, who, as I heard the other day at the Board of Education, you all are the teachers of all the professions that exist, pretty much, right? You're the teachers of all that, and the educators. And it's like, oh my gosh, what are we doing that that we're having our educators and community members and parents and students begging the county commissioners to fully fund, what's needed. And I just think that's wrong. That's wrong. So I would support you. I would be glad to support you. But I'm going to ask you questions, and I think that's fair. And I think you want me to ask you questions and understand. And working budgets, I worked budgets, during my career. So.
Thank you.
Commissioners often have equal power but differing viewpoints. Describe a time you had to build a consensus among a group of peers with conflicting priorities. What was your strategy?
Okay, let's see. Well, my most recent experience is going to come from the committee that I was recently chair of, and there was a question of new leadership, and I talked to a number of the committee members individually, and just said, this is why I'm supporting this person to take over as chair. And I said, the time is right. Their skills are so needed right now. Their knowledges, their skills, their talents are so needed for where we are in this moment. And it's, you know what? And there were other people that were just as qualified to chair the committee. but this person has a set of skills that we need at this moment. And I was able to convince, or at least have people think about it. Maybe they were still on the fence at the time the vote came. I don't know, but it's okay because that is the chair. And I wasn't, as the former chair, trying to put my thumb on the scale. I was able to say, here's my reasoning. I'd like, I want to pass the baton, and I think not just I, but we want to pass the baton to this person to work what they need to do with their skills and talents and knowledges and the way they do things. That they are the right person at this moment. They are the right person. So I think I built some consensus there, individually doing that, and was able to do that with some examples. And I guess that's how you do it too. You say, hey, remember when they did this? Remember when they did that? And now our plan for going forward, this is what we're going to be doing. They're the person to do it. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Abell. That concludes our questions for today. Do you have any questions for us?
I should, but
If you do, you can reach back out later.
Sure,
We'll be willing to answer any questions.
I think
Reach
this
out
was.
to the office.
Thank you. This was very thorough, and I appreciate the opportunity to, give an interview and talk, and it's all good.
Okay, that concludes our interview.